Look at
Coach,
what?
Coach Burnett, first off, got a medal on. How'd you guys do in the finals? Mick Burnett was in the finals.
Mick got beat. Wrestled a really, really tough kid. I mean, the kid wrestled really, really well. You know, it is what it is. Mick had a good tournament, and you know, you got to learn from every match, particularly the ones you lose. But I'm real proud of him. Good tournament.
How'd Nate Burnett do?
Nate ended up 6th. You know, he's had a crazy year. He had a couple of injuries here and there, and missed some time. Came back, and I don't know. You know, he expected to be on the stand here. I'm not sure what my expectations were coming in, so I think he did a good job.
How old are your sons?
10 and 11.
10 and 11. When you look at this tournament, is this the best competition you can find your sons in the OAC?
Yeah, we don't. You know, we went out to Nebraska last year in April. Wrestled, you know, a national competition out there. You know, we haven't hit Tulsa or Reno or any of those. Those are really good too. But I think this is hands down. This tournament here is one of the top, probably one of the top in the country. I would imagine. So, you know, once again, traveling's great, and I mean, I think eventually we're gonna make that sort of move. We're gonna do a little more of that. But you know, right here, you know, when kids in your backyard are beating you, you know, we're learning a lot right here.
Burnett trained wrestling. How would you say the club did as a whole across all 4 divisions?
We had a ton of kids wrestling. But when I get home, I'll sit down and I'll do some figuring out, look at the brackets. It's always fun to look at the brackets after the tournament, see all the matches I missed, but because I was, you know, coaching somebody else. But you know, it's you know, I think our kids did real well. I think they learned a lot. I think the development from the beginning of the season to the end of the season was good. And you know, of course, certain individuals didn't do as well this weekend as they would have liked, but others probably did. And either way, I think everybody will build.
Do you think it's more about not wins and losses for you, but more about the process and learning?
It's completely about development. Okay, I can't emphasize that more as far as my philosophy or our philosophy. We want kids to win for them. The kids want the medals. The kids want the trophies. Okay, the kids want the Dippin' Dots after the tournament. The kids want those. Okay, what I want, what we as coaches, is development. Me as a parent, yeah, I'm very proud of my kids when they get to be on that podium, and I'm proud when they're champions. But to me, you know, this is all a building process. It's developmental, and hopefully, you know, when it comes time for high school, they'll be ready to go before they, you know, once they have the opportunity to compete at that level. So I just can't get too crazy about, you know, what happens in the finals. Like I said, it's for them. That's for them.
NCAA tournament coming up. I know you follow Ohio State. I know you follow Clarion. There's a lot of guys that you've had, you know, that have wrestled for you, your dad or you. Kilgore's NCAA champ for your, you know, one of your club guys. Obviously Logan Staver, Hunter Staver's redshirting. But what do you really look at when you look at the NCAA tournament? Those guys you had as little ankle biters like these guys to now. What do you look for and who do you cheer for?
Oh man, I guess the guys that we have the background with. You know, I know their work ethic, and I know how hard they worked when they were younger. I know that most of them are working just as hard now, probably harder actually. I mean, they're in college. But you know, those are the guys. For me, it crosses over from team to team. You know, I root for individuals on individual teams. You know, Mailman's out at Pitt. You know, he's doing a fantastic job this year. Ian Miller, you know, he's over at Kent State. Harrison Hightower's at OU. You know, all these kids that did some work together.
Brad Wookie.
Brad Wookie's an NCAA qualifier this year over at Penn. I'm very, very proud of him. Very proud for him as well. Salzer, he did some work with us. You know, there's just a lot of kids out there, and I try to follow them. Obviously, you know, Logan and I follow Hunter during his redshirt year. The list goes on and on. I'm looking forward to some guys that are redshirting this year that we've done work with, you know, Tomasello and guys like that. So, yeah, it's awesome. I rarely make the NCAA tournament because of usually whether it's an OAC state tournament or an Ohio way. You know, I'm usually coaching our young kids. So, and I don't really want to take away from them to go. So I know I'm missing some really cool stuff at the NCAA tournament. Maybe someday it'll be a little different. I'll be able to go.
You know, being someone who's an All-American there, does it kind of hurt a little bit to miss it, to come to this youth stuff?
No. I got into this youth wrestling. I've been coming to the OAC tournament since it started, since it was junior high, the first time they had the junior high state tournament. And then when they first started the grade school state tournament, I've been here every year. And, so I've been involved in youth wrestling for a long time. But then, I think any dad that will listen to what I'm saying, any dad that hears what I'm saying will get this. Once my kids got involved, okay, it became a little bit different. Okay, I coach high school, and it's a dual role for me. I love high school coaching, but once your kids get involved with the youth wrestling, okay, there needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance there. I wouldn't miss these tournaments for the world with our youth kids and my sons wrestling in them.
NCAA tournament. I like talking about it with you because you're fifth. Fifth as a senior.
Yeah, fifth.
What did you say to guys who, we got a lot of guys. I think of the 29 four-time qualifiers, 10 of them are not All-Americans yet. What would you say to a guy like that? And you were in that boat, Coach Burnett.
Yeah.
You were four-time state champ, going for All-American. Hadn't All-American yet and been to the tournament a couple times. But what would you say to a guy like that?
Sun's gonna come up tomorrow, whether you win or lose. I don't know. That may not work for a lot of people. It worked for me. I think feeling some pressure in college definitely hurt me in some situations, some matches. Getting to the NCAA tournament 3 times, being in the All-American round and losing, my junior year. I put an awful lot of pressure on myself, especially with my background being what it was. So, my senior year, I had to wrestle a guy I'd never beaten before in that match to place. And not to mention, when I finally decided to train in college to be an NCAA champion, there's a difference. Training to be a champion versus training to be an All-American. My goal was to be an NCAA champion, and it didn't happen. I lost in the quarterfinals, and I got beaten rather handily, and that was frustrating. But I had to regroup, and I had to get my head together. And the bottom line to me was I just need to go out and wrestle. And I had to tell myself the sun's coming up tomorrow, whether I win or lose this next match. And for me, that helped a lot because I just went out and I wrestled. I got to be fifth. That's what I tell the kids. I got to be fifth. It wasn't what I wanted, but I got something at home. I got a plaque at home that symbolizes persistence and fortitude in times where you're thinking, why am I doing this? I have something hanging on my wall at home that's symbolic of that, and I think that's big because life's bigger than wrestling. Wrestling is life, and what I learned from wrestling, I apply to my life. So that's what I want. That's what I want these kids to get out of it.
Do your boys see that plaque? Do they actually know what it means?
Yeah, they know it was fifth in the country. I've tried to explain to them a little bit about persistence and dealing with adversity, but I think they get it. I think they understand, and hopefully, like I said, I'm very, very blessed, and I'm so glad that my kids wrestle because wrestling gives us so much. It gives us so much for the rest of our lives to help us. Okay, and I'm equally, if not more, blessed and grateful that they're wrestling because that's our family time. These weekends are our family time, and that to me means more than anything.